going to be focusing on the crisis in Maharashtra. It's been nearly a month since the results were out, and yet there is no sight of a government.
One thing is clear, that the Shiv Sena is probably the most creative party on India's political party horizon today.
The smart money is still betting on power, having the key to the kingdom.
Maharashtra power is spelled S-P-A-W-A-R. So whatever is happening in Maharashtra, he's the central figure.
Hello and welcome to Cover Story. This week we are going to be focusing on the crisis in Maharashtra. It's been nearly a month since the results were out, and yet there is no sight of a government. Instead, we have the spectre of president's rule or governor's rule in the state. What is happening in the state? Why are the parties not getting together? There are a whole lot of interesting combinations that are at play, however. The Shiv Sena and the BJP that were partners before the elections, that fought the elections together, have now broken up. The Sena is very determined to have its own chief minister, so determined in fact that it's reached out to the NCP and the Congress. The NCP has agreed to play ball principally, but will the Congress also agree? We know that Sonia Gandhi is ideologically opposed to it, but her MLAs are very keen to join, and she has been told what is the use of being opposed and sticking to an ideology when in the end you may not have a party left. All the MLAs may join the Sena or the BJP. So we are told the Congress, NCP and the Sena are exploring an alliance. How viable will that be? How stable will that be? And what happens to president's rule? All these are the questions that are going to be raised in the discussion today. Joining me is Aditi Fadnis, political editor for the Business Standard, Dilip Cherian, image guru and political commentator, and Pankaj Vora, managing editor for the Sunday Guardian. Aditi, you've been watching and writing about this crisis in great detail. What is happening? I mean, this whole improbables coming together, do you think this is going to work out?
So I think the base case scenario was that the Congress was very clear, and I think after that the NCP was very clear that there had to be a common minimum program on the basis of which the government could be formed. They didn't, initially there were, as you said, there was a lot of reluctance on the part of the Congress president, interim or otherwise, to commit the party to a course which in the past they had been strongly opposed to with political allies. But now she has been, I think, convinced that it's important not only to beat back to identify the primary enemy and to beat back the BJP, and also to make sure that the basis on which they form an alliance is not a manifesto but a program of governance. So that's the major difference. So I think that the way it works out is there are two parts of the alliance. One is, of course, the program on which you will conduct the government, and there will be no deviations from that. Rather like the left Congress alliance in the UPA one. The other is how do you divide the spoils of victory, the positions, the portfolios and so on and so forth. As far as I know, that haggling is still going on. We have to understand that of the three parties, I think it is the Shiv Sena which has given up the most. And while the Congress is not saying that openly, I think everyone understands that Shiv Sena has not only given up the BJP, its alliance partner, it's given up a cabinet ministership, it has given up its dominant control over 3 or 4 municipalities in Maharashtra, which is very important. It has also given up the, I think for the time being at least, the future opportunity to do a deal with the BJP.
By breaking up with the BJP, yeah. Which brings me to the question of Sharad Pawar. What game is he playing, Pankaj?
In Maharashtra, power is spelled S-P-A-W-A-R. So whatever is happening in Maharashtra, he's the central figure. Whether, he goes with the BJP and forms a government with them, or whether he helps Shiv Sena along with the Congress to form a government, he is going to be the central figure. So let's not forget that Sharad Pawar is the most accomplished player in Maharashtrian politics. In 1978, when he became the chief minister at the age of 38, he had outwitted, a politician like Indira Gandhi. So these guys, whoever is around is just nothing. He had knocked off the Vasant Dada Patil government at that point of time. So Sharad Pawar is going to be the pivotal figure. He's, treading his path very carefully. He is exposing people in the process. He has brought out Shiv Sena's ambitions in the open. He knows that Congress is the most vulnerable, and if it does not come to power, it will, implode further and will have very few people left. And so he's, exploiting the situation to the hilt. But the fact remains that, when Shiv Sena had staked the claim, there was a tacit approval of the Congress High Command, which was conveyed to Sharad Pawar, and because of which he, conveyed it to Uddhav Thackeray. At 11th hour, my information is that Rahul Gandhi had sent an emissary through Rajiv Satav, and Rajiv Satav said that, there are ideological problems. So people in the Congress were wondering what are the ideological problems. Congress had no qualms when they admitted Sanjay Nirupam from Shiv Sena. When Narayan Rane came and was promised chief ministership, by the Congress, there were no qualms. They had no problems when Chhagan Bhujbal was the deputy chief minister. They have done business with Madhusudan Mistry and Shankar Singh Waghela. So this ideology is all humbug. It's all, just to mislead people, or there's no ideological thing which is coming in the way. What is being speculated is that, Congress does not want to hurt the BJP beyond a point, and that's why trying to hold back its support. But it also knows that if it does not help the government formation, the party will collapse and nothing will be left of it. So all this is happening, and Pawar is in the ringside seat. For him, going with the BJP is more convenient because it will help him to, get cases against Ajit Pawar and Praful Patel, diluted, and will also help in, consolidating his party. So he's the man to watch. It's he who's going to decide which way the wind will go.
There is some thing in that, because the fact that Shiv Sena is in the corner it is because it had broke away with the BJP on the strength of Sharad Pawar's support. That support, even when Aditya Thackeray was in Raj Bhavan, he did not have the letter from NCP even at that time. So is Sharad Pawar playing a game that has to be watched?
First of all, that is the suspicion. But does that matter? At this point of time, there is this great anxiety, we have to form a government. It can take time. Today's millennial voter is not really concerned like those of us who've been used to watching, we need a government. When governments come, there's pretty little that they do. So it doesn't affect the average citizen whether there is a government or not. They're quite happy, and in fact, most young people are quite happy to watch this tamasha going on because it adds to their understanding of each person involved in this. Pawar being spelt appropriately in Maharashtra is one anxiety. Then there's also the other anxiety that there are other forces outside, including industrialist forces, who are also playing their role in whichever way it may be. Okay, but what all of these three parties need to understand is that the BJP has so far demonstrated in state after state the ability to pull a rabbit out of the hat and poke somebody and get what it needs to form a government. So if they want to form a government, that is the reason why they should, forget such lofty ideals as ideology, which I suspect is also spelled somewhat closer to idli, given the number of South Indians involved in this kind of...
Which is very interesting, yes.
Yeah. The thing is that they need to understand that once governments start to run, it depends a lot on a visionary or on a very smart, politically savvy chief minister to be able to divide the spoils of state. The only quarrels are not about ideological issues. It's about how do we divvy up the country's richest state and how do we make sure that our party coffers are refilled again. I think that is what is currently, at stake in my view.
Which is really sad. But the politics of it, how do you see it working out? Which way will Pawar go?
It's not just Pawar. It's also, I think, Sonia Gandhi does not want to go down in history as the Congress president who never lost an opportunity to lose an opportunity. So, whatever her squeamishness or her misgivings about doing a deal with Sena, I think she has more or less put her trust entirely in Sharad Pawar's hands. This is the thing about Sharad Pawar. He is seen as an honest broker, by so many people. It's actually the key to his politics. If you look at the history of his interventions have not just been in politics, where he has stabbed somebody on the back, but that person has never held a grudge against him. I can cite numerous instances. But also in playing honest broker, arbitrator in the fortunes of family business, like the Bajaj family. He was the one to whom the Bajaj family went when there was an internal family dispute. This is very rare. It doesn't really happen like that. So there are a lot of people who feel that Sharad Pawar is a person who will play a straight bat, although there are many people who feel that he will not play a straight bat as well. But I think Pawar is this time, I mean, it's not as if he could not have done a deal with the BJP. He has been with the BJP in the past. I mean, in 2014, Narendra Modi paid him very handsome compliments. Yes. He told him that Sharad Pawar, when I was new to politics, power politics, he held me by the finger and made me walk through the minefield, and I have a lot that I owe to him. So it's not as if they're enemies for life. And this is the thing about Sharad Pawar, he reinvents himself all the time.
Which is why it's very interesting that he should be targeted by the Modi, you know, whether himself going to enforcement, Praful Patel, Ajit Pawar.
Yeah, so I think there is, I mean, the wheels of the law enforcing machinery can take an unexpected momentum of their own. So I don't know whether it was the intention of the establishment to target Sharad Pawar. Certainly Ajit Pawar and Praful Patel, there are cases against him, fair or not, that's another matter. I think in the whole Mirchi case, there is a lot of complications. You can't really say that X or Y or Z has...
it's a whole lot of conjecture and speculation leading up to the case.
And I've gone through the case, and I think it's not as cut and dry as people are saying that, you know, he was in cahoots with terrorists. It wasn't like that. It's quite complicated. So I'm not sure if Sharad Pawar at this age and at his station in life is a target for enforcement agencies. And I don't think that by his tying up with the BJP or enabling the BJP to form the government, the spotlight will then not be on him. I don't think so.
Sharad Pawar's role we've seen, Sonia's role within the Congress, Pankaj, what is happening? There is a section within the Congress that is still advising her, don't go with them.
No, it is. The thing is that Sharad Pawar, according to my information, had two long, exchanges with her, after which she had agreed that, Congress will support the Shiv Sena-led government. It was at the 11th hour when, through Rajiv Satav, Rahul Gandhi intervened, that, Sharad Pawar was most upset. He said that it's going to be a loss of face because he has made certain commitments to Uddhav Thackeray and also to that Sanjay Raut, and, he has to now go back. And that's why, he was extremely upset. And he was reassured by some of Sonia's aides that, things will work out, just hold your ground and we will, work out something. And that is the reason. Now, yesterday there was a CMP meeting in Bombay, and there's going to be another meeting on Tuesday, which is going to firm up the formation of this government in case, Shiv Sena led government is to be formed. But Sharad Pawar, as I said, is, being also pressurized by the BJP, because when they fielded a few days ago, Narayan Rane to address a press conference, and he said that we have the numbers. Narayan Rane is also a Maratha, and he is also a very assertive person. He was brought into the Congress just to contain Sharad Pawar in Maharashtra politics, but he never got the chief ministership because in power politics within the Congress, it was Prithviraj Chauhan who was preferred over him. And he, till the end, nursed that grudge and then joined the BJP. Now, Narayan Rane is a very aggressive player. And he is one person who can, contain Sharad Pawar. That's why he has been brought into the field. Within the BJP, there are many people who don't want Devendra Fadnavis to be the chief minister. there's internal politics going on. I mean, the BJP leadership had wanted perhaps Pankaja Munde, who got defeated. And, now when the slogan was raised that Narendra Devendra ki sarkar hogi, many people in the BJP said that that is perhaps the end of Fadnavis because the Prime Minister does not want anyone to be equated with him. Now, whether that happens or not, time will tell. But the game is open. It is not that Shiv Sena-led government is going to be formed. It can be a BJP-led government also. Let's wait and see next week.
BJP-led government, before we go into that, the outcome of all this for the BJP, until now the BJP has been winning election after election, more or less with a few bumps here and there. Maharashtra and even to an extent Haryana was a big road bump.
I think these road bumps are what the BJP has mastery over. They are able to actually maneuver even when they are just within spitting distance of victory and get what needs to and use what needs to be used. So whatever method they want to use, I think there has been an inexplicable delay in their moving very fast, but I think that they could still easily get to the finish line if they wanted to. Now it's a question of whether the egos that are bruised at this point of time, which is the egos at the Shiv Sena side and the egos on the BJP side, and these are people who are not used to having their egos bruised so publicly. So I think that's what's probably holding up the BJP's attempt to go over the finishing line. I still think that they're capable of doing it.
But do you see the bridge between the Sena and the BJP? It's now, egos have come into it. I don't think it can be bridged.
When you insult the Thakres, that bit of Maratha pride is something that perhaps is not easily then reconciled with. And don't forget that even within that household, the real power is not within the people who are elected and out in the front. There's a power behind the throne which actually decides very much these things. And she pretty much will take a call as to whether that insult is acceptable or not to the family. And the Shiv Seniks, I think, are much more disciplined than most other parties, and they'll probably go with her.
Wow, that's a space to watch. We're going to take a break and come back and also continue talking about what this result means for the BJP and also the imposition of governor's rule. Was it a very hasty decision? What are the ramifications of that? So stay with us. Hello and welcome back to Cover Story. This week we are focusing on Maharashtra. Aditi, before the break, we just began touching on the BJP. How do you see the result impact on the BJP and post-result, what all has been happening?
One thing is clear, that the Shiv Sena is probably the most creative party on India's political party horizon today. Creative in the sense that not only has Aditya Thackeray expanded the Sena to areas which were considered to be citadels of the BJP and the ABVP. For instance, the Mumbai University. But he has also, the Sena has also expanded beyond the cities. It was largely an urban phenomenon. Initially, as a way, leveraged by the Congress leadership to break unions, which were led by the left and by, Sundry, Datta Samant and others, particularly in the textile mills. But Sena has gone way, way, way beyond that. And there are very few parties which are so dynamically receptive to change. So it is now has a presence in urban areas where if the BJP and the Sena don't go together, it's even in rural areas, the vote can get divided, and as we have seen it happen, others can win. So I think the Sena is very conscious that it has to establish its own presence now. And Aditya Thackeray, who is the heir apparent, is a fairly open-minded person who is not actually weighed down by ideological baggage of either Marathi Manus or anything, of that kind.
So he can reinvent.
So you can reinvent without much difficulty. When you have a free agent like that in a chemical equation, free agents can create a lot of havoc. They can create a lot of disruption. and that is what I think we are seeing now.
Pankaj, regarding the BJP, the fact that they did not get an outright majority, then an ally pretty much just turned around and told them to take a walk. So how does that figure out in the scheme of things where the BJP is concerned?
The thing is that there are several dimensions in this. Now, Shiv Sena at one time was the senior partner in this partnership, and BJP was the junior partner. And now BJP is becoming, so strong that Shiv Sena fears that in case, it plays second fiddle to the BJP, in the long run, it may lose some of its influence because ideologically, on many issues, there is similarity. So that's why Shiv Sena keeps on criticizing the BJP on and off, and sometimes has also endorsed what Rahul Gandhi stated. Yes. So it wants to keep its distance. Now it is very important for them that this is the time they feel that BJP, got 104 or 105 seats. So they are weaker than what they had expected. So this is the time to strike and reap dividends, political dividends. That's why it is flirting with Sharad Pawar.
Sena is fine, but the BJP's point of view, the fact that the invincible BJP is now getting this kind of notices.
The thing is that BJP basically is looking at it from another point of view. They know that they can form the government anytime. Congress can implode, and they can buy off Congress.
Yeah, we are told all but 2 MLAs.
I mean, whatever number let's not go into the numbers, but yes, Congress MLAs want to come back to power. It's a question of survival. So BJP is just waiting and is also giving it a long rope to see whether these people can come together or squabble.
So was it a smart move to impose governor's rule?
There was no other option. The thing is that after Sharad Pawar was conveyed this information that Congress is now having second thoughts about supporting the Shiv Sena, so he gave the second letter that we need 3 more days, and the governor used that as the point of to impose give his recommendations. So,
but he said it's a pretext for horse trading. That's why.
That is, and so Pawar is in no hurry. He is a winner both ways. So he can do business with BJP. He can do business with Shiv Sena. No love lost. And he knows that if he does business with either of them, Congress high command does not matter at all. It is not Congress of the old that the high command's writ is the final. Here, whatever he says, Congress MLAs will go with him.
Correct. No, that's what we were told also. One of the reasons why Sonia Gandhi turned around and said okay was someone pointed out to her that as many as 32 Congress MLAs had been bought over, switched sides before the elections. So, I mean, what is the use of having an ideology when there will be no party left? All the MLAs want to join the government.
I think at the most senior level, Mrs. Gandhi has received these inputs. And I think also at the ground level, those who are there, except for a few people who are still insistent on making ideological sounds, I think most people figured out that the Congress MLAs were the most fungible of the lot. They could reappear in any format as long as they were in some form close to power. Though it sounds cynical, the spoils of power are too much for them to give up now because they feel that they are within sniffing distance of some kind of benefits after a long break. Also, the re-emergence of this anxiety by Rahul Gandhi is something that I don't think that the Congress rank and file is very enthusiastic about. They feel that, hey, you've given up, now why are you coming and playing spoil sport to our party, to what is our party, okay? So, I think there is that anxiety and that feeling. The smart money is still betting on power, having the key to the kingdom. And I think that what they are all underestimating is the fact that the BJP is unused to giving it up, even when they may not have the ally who they thought they would have. I think their momentary blindsidedness was that they didn't expect the Shiv Sena to go all the way and say, off with your head. I don't think they expected that. I think that's probably why there is this whole hiatus at this point in time, which is aided and abetted by the glorious governor.
Well, no surprises why he took the route he took. Finally, where do you see this Maharashtrian rule ending? Where is your gut feeling?
Well, I mean, there will be a government at the end of the day
but
at
who?
some
Yes,
point. and frankly, it doesn't really matter very much who.
What Dilip said in the beginning. You're part
But
of
the
them.
point is, I just want to hark back to what the point Pankaj had made, which is that there are now going to be serious fault lines within the BJP. At the moment, they're still kind of licking their wounds. But there are people who were extremely critical of Devendra Fadnavis's style of functioning. Vinod Tawade was one such.
Who was denied a ticket.
Who was denied a ticket. And in fact, he was insulted by the Shiv Sena, by Aditya Thackeray, who asked for his resignation, even while they were in government, for the mess that they made in the Mumbai University exam result delays. So, there are going to be, I mean, Vinod Tawade thought that the Chief Minister did not stand up for him. And there are others also who were denied tickets. They inducted Shiv Sena and others into the party.
So
they were not given
anti-Fadnavis
tickets.
camp,
So, yeah. So there will be a growth in the anti-Fadnavis camp, and how Fadnavis continues to have a hold over the party. You know, even, and there are unknown players, including Nitin Gadkari, who
Yeah, let's not
will be
very active. That's
yeah.
true. Well, your gut feeling, one short answer, what's going to happen?
Well, I think BJP should not be ruled out right now because BJP is right now giving this appearance that it is not hankering for power and it is allowing others to. And in the end, you know, all this, Pawar may, for all you know, feel that, you know, this is a better opportunity because he has to keep his party alive. And, you know, he can take on the Shiv Sena, and Pawar in any case is not a Bombay party. You know, he's in, you know, Marathwada and other places. So it doesn't really make any difference whether, you know, whatever happens to Shiv Sena. So he will play his, let's wait and watch Pawar on Tuesday maybe.
Pankaj is watching Pawar, you?
I would say Pawar also has the most to lose. So
I agree, yeah. It is his last.
if this government is not formed according to the contours that he envisages it to be, and that can only happen if it is a NCP Congress Pawar government. Because if it is a BJP government, Pawar will have, as soon as he agrees, he will have been reduced to a completely marginal role, and they know how to do that instantly. Because that is when other players who are non-political will come into the game and ensure that Pawar takes a side seat.
Wow, that's saying a lot without naming names. But I think I do in the end also tend to agree with Dilip. I also see that, you know, as Pankaj said, all eyes are on Pawar, and I think Pawar will find it better to work with the Sena and the Congress rather than the BJP. But let's see, let's watch this space. But that's it from us. Thank you for watching this show. We'll see you again same time next week.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.